The Gina and Matty podcast.
There's a lot going on in the world of this social media ban that has been proposed, this new law where it's going to say that children under the age of 16 aren't going to be allowed to be on social media. In Parliament yesterday, they're trying to push this through the Senate, right? They're trying to get it through before Christmas. I think they've got 2 days to do it. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, was speaking in Parliament yesterday. I just thought we haven't really opened up the phones on this one. And I thought, you know what, it's going to affect, there's a lot of young families here on the coast. Yeah. I haven't heard a lot of teenagers being asked what they think about it. It just seems to be a lot of parents and politicians talking about it. So what we're going to do right now is, if you've got an opinion on this, either way, this is your chance to get involved in the show and tell us what you think, whether you are a parent, whether you might be a 14-year-old. Ask your parents if you can call, of course. But, have your say on whether or not you do think that this social media ban for kids under the age of 16 is a good thing, because we've seen so much press around it, G, where people are like, yeah, it's a great thing. But then there's also, in the last couple of weeks, been a bit of a movement going, hang on, is it as good as what we think it's going to be?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I saw a young kid on the project, like a real brainiac kid, and he was saying, look, some kids live remotely and it's their only form of contact with kids their own age. Yeah. So you could be taking that away from some kids. I'm actually all for it. I think if there's any little thing that we can do that may help kids being bullied online, and with the suicides and all that kind of stuff you're seeing across the news at the moment, I think even if it saves one life, it's worth it. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's lots of differing opinions.
This is what the Prime Minister said in Parliament yesterday.
There is a clear causal link between the rise of social media and the harm for the mental health of young Australians. And indeed, not just young Australians, this is an issue that governments around the world are grappling with. Yeah. And can I say, when I was talking with leaders of European and North American and other countries in our own region as well, including Prime Minister Luxon of New Zealand last week, they are all looking at what we are doing, and they are applauding what we are doing in showing leadership in this area. We know that social media can be a weapon for bullies, a platform for peer pressure, a driver of anxiety, a vehicle for scammers, and worst of all, a tool for online predators. And because it is young Australians who are most engaged with this technology, it is young Australians who are most at risk. And that's why we want to set the minimum age for social media at 16.
So that's the Prime Minister in Parliament yesterday talking about it. 4365 1045 is the number. I think I'm for it. I'm prepared to hear either side of the argument on the phones as well. That's what this world is. It's a democracy. You can have an opinion and we're not going to shoot you down for it. Daniel's on the line. Hi, Daniel.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, mate. Now, we just heard the Prime Minister there. Are you for a social media ban or against?
Against it.
Okay. Tell me why, mate.
Because the kids love it. It's entertainment. Imagine this. It's taken away from them. Then I'm going to have to step up as a parent and entertain my kids. Seriously? No, but jokes aside, they, like all the kids, have their platforms and they all interconnect with one another. It's just depending on how you do it. Like if you do it or use it properly, then there's no danger. It's when the kids go off on a tangent and start communicating with people that they shouldn't be, that's when there's a problem, but that's when you need to monitor it as a parent. But if they're doing it and using it for the right reasons, they have a lot of fun on it.
Yeah, I understand that. But like, what I will say is that you've got someone like Charlotte O'Brien's parents, 12-year-old Charlotte O'Brien, who tragically took her life. And this is what they were asked, or what they said when they were asked whether or not it's a good idea.
What do you intend to say when you see the Prime Minister face to face?
I intend to say, please, Mr. Albanese, raise the age of social media to 16 because 36 months could change a lifetime. That's what I'm going to say.
Charlotte was not the first, and she's already not the last. And this will continue to happen unless we make the right decisions. We have to keep our kids safe. as parents, what else are we here for, if not first to keep our kids safe? And this is without a doubt a decision that will make our kids safer than they are today.
Does that make it any different for you, Daniel, or not really?
No, it doesn't, and I'll tell you why. Because as a child, we didn't have social media, and I was bullied like you wouldn't believe. So I don't think that the platform's the fault of the bullying. The reality is this happens, and it's happened to me, like, genuinely, without social media. Because when I was a child, we didn't have phones, we didn't have social media, we didn't have those platforms, and yet it still happened, and it happened in a really bad way. So I think pointing and saying it's social media, no, it's not, because the bullying's there, and that's just the means that they're doing it. But if it wasn't that, I guarantee it would be something else because lived it.
Daniel, I really appreciate your call and you sharing this morning, mate. Thank you so much. Quickly, we'll take one more here before we go to the news with Suze. We'll continue this after as well. 4365 1045. Emily's in your minor. Hi, Em.
Hey guys, how are you?
Really good, mate. Where are you sitting on this one?
I'm totally all for the ban. Like, literally, I don't have children myself, although I have nieces and nephews that have been through bullying. And I have heard the last gentleman say that when he was younger, he also got bullied. We didn't have social media back then, but it doesn't matter. Bullying amplifies it all, like all online, and amplifies everything. I'm totally all for the ban. I just wish no kid even had social media. I wish I didn't even have it. It's just, I'm totally all for the ban.
Thank you,
And the
Emily.
thing about social media too, it's 24-hour bullying.
Well,
when you're
thing.
at school, it's just bullying at school.
We got to go home. We got to leave it in the schoolyard.
And kids, young kids are on there. If you go in, well, I've heard, and probably my son did too, if you go in, you think you've put them to bed if they've got their phone, they're still on social media late at night.
And Michelle's on the line. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how you going?
Really good, mate. Thank you for calling. What do you reckon?
So I'm for banning it. So I'm against kids having the social media.
Yeah.
I have a 12-year-old stepdaughter and I have a 12-year-old niece, and they're both very different kids, as kids always are. However, with my stepdaughter, she's allowed to have social media, and she has a lot of issues, making friends in real life, and, she's always bored unless she's able to use her social media, and, she can't really hold conversation face-to-face and things like that, whereas my niece, she's banned from having social media, and, she can sit in a group of adults and contribute to a conversation really well. She finds things to do for herself. She's kids how we were kids, we didn't have all of that, so it's just... I find it quite interesting, and I think that
it's a good point. We are raising a whole generation that can't have a conversation face to face because they talk. Even if they're sitting next to their friend, they'll talk to them through social media rather than have a face to face conversation. And what's the ongoing effect of that of them as adults?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how are they going to function in, a face to face job
in the real world? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, later on in life.
Thanks, Michelle. I really appreciate it. I always get nervous about talking on behalf of kids as well, because I remember being 12 and 13 and talking about my parents, you don't actually understand.
Yes.
And so I'm conscious of that. And I know that I've got kids that are not quite there. Billy's a little interested. She's 9, but she's not quite there. Having a 12-year-old who is about to go into what was the previous legal age to be on social media.
She'll be devastated.
And if you take it away from someone who could, if you take it away from Michelle saying her stepdaughter isn't communicating, is that going to do worse things for her? Is that going to isolate her from her friendship groups because she then can't communicate and be in a circle of friends and have that access to talk to people?
And when kids do say to us now, you don't understand, we actually don't understand because we weren't raised with social media. Our kids are raised with social media. They're the first of generations to suffer all of this.
Jody's in Davistown. Hi, Jody.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Dina.
How are you sitting on this side of the argument?
I'm actually for it for 13 and over. When my son started high school, he got his first phone and wanted to be on social media, and I set ground rules straight off the bat. So settings had to be private. I had parental control, so I saw every message that was coming in on social media, and that at 6 o'clock all phones were turned off. And I set that example by turning my phone off as well.
Yeah.
So you're not looking at it all night, every night. And the fact that bullying happens on social media, it also happens outside of them being on social media. And my son's an example of that. It has followed him home. They have found out where we've lived. They have taunted him outside of our house.
I'm really sorry, Jodie.
So social media is not to blame for the bullying. And I think as parents, if we set ground rules from the get-go, it's a good thing. My son has friends that have now moved overseas. This is his way of staying in touch with them. He only has his friends on his social media. There's no outside influences that he needs to talk to. They're just his friends.
So if a ban comes in, Jodie, what are you going to do?
Well, we've already sorted that little problem out, and I'm not going to say how we did it.
That's okay.
But we've sorted that problem out, and I'm quite happy to take over control of his social media. I mean, he's 4 months off turning 16 anyway.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Jodie, look.
And for the people to say that kids that are on social media all the time are not good communicators, they don't know how to hold conversation, come spend some time with my son.
Yeah.
He's a great communicator. He knows how to talk to his friends. He knows how to talk to a group of adults. He's very well-rounded in his conversations, and part of that is being on social media because he's been able to learn stuff and come back and discuss it with me and everyone else in his social group. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think anyone under the age of 13 should be on it. I think they're far too young.
Yeah.
Once he got his phone when he started high school, and that was another rule. He didn't have a phone until he started high school.
Yeah. Jodie, you've articulated that perfectly. I really appreciate your time and your opinion this morning. Thank you for sharing. Joining us on the line this morning is Hayley from Jillaby. Hi, Hayley.
Hi, guys. How you going?
Oh, mate, really good. Where are you sitting on this?
So rather than looking at it as a ban, I think we should be looking at it as a safeguard. I'm a primary school teacher. I'm just about to finish my law degree. As a teacher, I know that social media has so many bad impacts on children. It's not just the bullying. It's not just children being able to access other children 24/7. It's decreasing their social skills. It's decreasing their self-esteem. Children with low self-esteem are a target for bullies, and we really need to build their resistance and their resilience up. And the last thing they need to be doing is being exposed to the images that are on social media, the misinformation. It's not just the messages and things, it's the images. It's all that information that's just not correct.
Hayley, do you see there could be a benefit for, say, some kids who might be in minority groups who have to find sort of like a safe place to find friendships on social media? Who might, school isn't for everyone, and it can be a pretty horrible place at the best of times. Do you see any advantages, or not at all? No. No,
absolutely. I absolutely see the advantages. My children, I removed them from the school system because of bullying. They do online school.
Yeah.
But I think messages like messaging services that have really good safeguards in place can allow children to have that interaction or to keep in contact with their friends. Doing law, I know that there is a lack of accountability legally and morally from these social media companies. And I think if we have better safeguards in place, they have more legal responsibilities in a messaging service, I think that would be way more productive.
Yeah.
And Hayley, you talk about self-esteem in kids, self-esteem in adults. Like, I'm a confident human, and when I'm on social media, it knocks my self-esteem around. So imagine a child, you see everyone living their best life. They look like their life's better than you. You feel like you're not doing enough. All those kind of feelings we get as adults. But as an adult, I know, don't read it before I go to bed. Don't look at it too much, because I know it can make me feel bad about myself. You've got kids who don't have the adult brain yet navigating that.
Absolutely. It's like photoshopping of the 90s. Those unattainable images, those unattainable videos or unattainable lifestyles. And they're thinking, why don't I have that? Because like you said, Gina, I'm the same. I look at that and go, well, why aren't I doing that? And why are these doing that?
I just got handed a piece of paper here, Hayley, just about that, saying in the inquiry down in the Senate, a clinical psychologist, Danielle Einstein, told the committee that any benefits of social media to mental health far outweighed by its disadvantages. So that's an interesting point from there. And I think, people are saying, how are you going to enforce it? It's like, how are you going to enforce? How do you enforce anything?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you enforce people to wear seatbelts? No, you just do it because it's going to save your life.
Yes.
You know, you don't speed because it's going to save your life, right? That's kind of.
There's always going to be rule breakers. There's always going to be someone who hasn't got their seatbelt on.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And then it becomes down to personal responsibility. As a parent, I like the fact that it might be able to rally other parents together and go, you know what, we've got this rule. We've got a chunk that, you know what, this is the rule. If other friends are doing it, well, that's the thing, but others won't be. So we've got this sort of yardstick where we can go, no, not until 16, but obviously other parents are going to let other kids do whatever they want. But yeah, I really appreciate your thoughts on this, Hayley.
Not a problem. Thanks, guys.
Good luck with that law degree too, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Almost finished.
How long you got left?
I've got 4 subjects.
Smash it, mate. Thanks for your time.
No worries, thanks.
Gina and Matty.
Gee, you know, as a parent, there are lots of firsts.
Yeah.
And then there's lots of lasts.
Oh.
So yesterday in our house, I told you last week we had a first where Ziggy, the 7-year-old, my son, he beat me for the first time in Mario Kart, which was a big moment in our house. Yesterday we had a last first, if that makes sense.
Oh.
So over the weekend, the 5-year-old Stevie, who is the force of nature in our house, she's the biggest personality, and that includes myself.
Bigger than you.
And my wife, right? She's the biggest personality. 5, right? Preschool, going into big school next year.
Cute.
She's the one that told the principal at the orientation to slay Queen. Okay, just for reference. Had a wobbly bottom tooth. 5, right? First wobbly bottom tooth, and I thought, you know what, I could get my 5-year-old live on the radio, which is dangerous because unlike other radio stations, we don't have a censor here looking after our show, so anything could happen. But I have got my long-suffering wife on the line. Bella, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you, babe? You good?
Hey Gina.
Hi, Bella. How are you?
Good.
Now,
good.
how's
Tired but good.
Yeah, how's the morning going? Because just so you know, at about 3:30 this morning, I was lying on Stevie's bed trying to get her to go back to sleep, and then I was like, I've got to go to work. I had to go wake up Bella and go, babe, you need to go up there and sort that out so I can go to work. How did you go? Did you get her back to sleep?
I said, yes, the tooth fairy's coming. You better go to sleep. And she was asleep within like 2 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Well, you've revealed the lead there because yesterday, do you want to pop her on? Is she around? Is Stevie around?
She just said she had to put a shirt on, but hang on, I'll just pop her on.
Again, it's radio.
Hi, my name's Stevie and I'm 5 years old and I just lost my tooth.
Oh, great work, Stevie.
Hi,
it sounds like you've just turned up to an AA meeting, but that's okay. Darling, Stevie, hi, it's Dada and Gina here. How are you, sweetheart?
Good.
Okay, so yesterday at preschool, do you want to tell Gina what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened?
My tooth reached down to my thumb, my tongue, and my teacher asked, do you want me to pull it out? And I said yes. And she just ripped it out.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
She just ripped your tooth out.
And the teacher said, normally when I ask kids like that, they're like, no. And Stevie was like, yes, rip it out. Okay, sweetheart.
Ouch. Did it hurt?
A little bit.
Oh, you're so brave.
So then last night before you went sleepies, you put your tooth next to your bed.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened when you woke up this morning?
Tooth fairy came.
Oh, my.
$4.
$4?
That's a lot of money, Stevie.
What are you going to buy with the $4, Stevie? What are you going to buy?
I'm saving.
Oh, what are you saving up for?
I'm saving up for something for my for my birth, something for myself or something for my friend.
Oh, Stevie,
you're lovely.
Spend it on yourself, and she's probably lying. You probably
And then this morning,
what happened?
I was asking Ziggy, where's my another money, and he stole it to take it to the canteen.
Oh, wow.
He took your $4 to spend at the canteen?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, you know what? I'm just going to leave that issue with your mum to deal with. Sweetheart, I'll see you when you get home from school today, okay?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Stevie.
Bye. Love you, sweetheart.
Bye, Gina.
Bye, Stevie.
She's lying. She's not saving that. She's going straight to the top shop to buy a Kit Kat, that's for sure.
The Gina and Matty Podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.